Hey there, it's Mikara with More Prana Gardens. This is the monthly update that I owed you Saturday or so. Problem is, I didn't know what I was going to say because I've had some big decisions to make. And now that I've made them, I can share them with you. Now, I normally do my updates. Here's what's up with me, the channel, and then the gardens, but today is going to be story time. I do need to get some garlic separated while we talk. I'm pulling off the bigger pieces to be planted, and the smaller ones will go back into the kitchen to be dehydrated or used or whatever. I do use only grocery garlic. I have never bought garlic that was grown to be planted. I've only done grocery garlic. So that's what's going on with this, and I have some that I already plucked off. Oh, by the way, last night was our first threat of a frost. It did not. Everything is fine. Basils are fine. Tomatoes are fine. Eggplants, peppers, moringa trees. It's all good. So that's a plus because I didn't have the energy to get out here and take care of anything. So y'all know that I had the bad soil when I was starting my seedlings this year, and I lost a couple of hundred seedlings to it, and that was terrible. Jill Winger, if you follow her or you can look her up, she actually had the soil tested and reached out to the company, and it is severely depleted of nitrogen as suspected, and the company says that they have made no changes to their formula. Because they have been contacted and offered the chance to make a statement, I no longer feel bad about saying who it was. So it was Kellogg Organic Potting Soil that was the issue. It was not tested for grazon. I don't blame her. That test is outrageously expensive. My soil was definitely damaging the plants. The part that I didn't tell y'all, but not on purpose, like I just didn't realize it until later, is that soil came into this garden a little earlier than this time last year. All of my brassicas, all of my broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, alyssum, all the lettuce I planted last fall. I planted like 100 nasturtiums, close to that many calendulas, all gone, with the exception of I had 4 calendulas and I think 2 nasturtiums that made it through. So I had a fall and winter of no success, all of the die-off of my seedlings in the spring, and it was traumatizing. It hurt my soul. Hello, Bobo. I mean, it really, really hurt. You know, I was talking to my partner about this yesterday, and I was like, I've had a straight year of garden failures between the bad soil and the extreme heat and drought. And he said, whose poblanos were those? Because I sent him a picture, and I'll put it right here, of my poblano plant that's got like, one plant has like 16 on it, and then I've got a couple other plants. And he's like, whose poblanos were those? Okay, so it's not abject failures. It was just really trying, but it's been a full year. And I do have poblanos on the plants, and I do have jalapenos, and I do have tomatoes finally coming in. There are 8 watermelons over there that I'm hoping have time to make it. There's Bo. You know, I mean, Tithonia did great, so it's not as bad as it's felt to me. And then the kicker, the real, the ironic, evil, ironic part of it is that it was my first year on YouTube. Like, I'm here like, hey, let me show you how I garden, and here's the things we can do, and then nothing works out for me. Hopefully, if nothing else, you've gotten a year of me trying to figure out how to solve failures, and me figuring out how to solve problems, and laughing at just things that are out of my control, and just trying to move forward despite the weather and the soil and all that. So, she's just gonna sharpen her claws on the box I'm sitting on, it's fine. All that to say, I'm tired. And it's just funny because like last year, you know, I brought in so many tomatoes before I ever started the channel. And then once the channel was started, you know, I brought in tomatoes on January 1st from last year. Plain. Okay, I had to pause because a plane went over, and I realized that some of these are hardneck garlic, so that's exciting. Anyhow, I'm still working off the jar of cherry tomatoes that I dried. I'm still working off the jar of habaneros that I dried last year. I am still working off the tinctures that I made from the herbs from last year. I had really good success last year, the year before that. Of course, because my life is Murphy's Law, it would be the first year that I'm on YouTube that I have just... So, I need a smidge of a break, but not like a hard stop. That's the decisions I was making and what I was trying to figure out, is how much of a break do I take? How far do I step back? What, if anything, do I cut out? And here's what I've decided. I'm not going to start a tray of broccoli, a tray of cauliflower, a tray of Brussels sprouts. I'm not going to start a tray of anything. I'm going to start some broccoli. I'm going to start some cauliflower. I'll do lettuce, but mostly I plan to start a couple of stuff and then stagger plant like every couple of weeks if I feel like it. I'm not going to give myself a strict schedule. I'm not going to put any pressure on myself about it. If I get it done, I get it done. If I don't, what does that mean content-wise? I will show you what I'm growing. I will do that. I will take you with me as long as the peppers and tomatoes and all those things survive to see how we fare through the fall and winter. The other thing that I'm going to do is, so those brassicas and lettuce and whatnot, I'm going to put some of them in this garden right here, some in the Fuji tree guild that's right over there. I'm going to do my garlic. I'll be planting my garlic like when you have a tree and the canopy is this big, then this is the drip line of the tree. So you plant your garlic at the drip line in a ring, and it slows the growth of grass into the root zone of the tree. It doesn't stop it entirely, but it helps, and it gives you a place to grow garlic. It offers some scent confusion in the spring for insects. Hey, that was a good one. Come back here. So I'm going to be doing that on at least 2 trees, and I'll probably do a couple of other garlic patches. And then the other big thing that I'm doing, and I'll show you all of this as well, y'all, ordering seeds from Johnny's is so fun because it's like, do you want a 1/4 pound of seed? Do you want a 1/2 pound of seed? Do you want a pound of seed? Do you want, I almost cussed, that much seed? And it's so fun shopping there, and they have like the best information for planting and all of that. So anyhow, I got on Johnny's and I spent way too much money on cover crop the other day, and that'll be here next week, I believe. And so I'm going to be doing 3 kinds of clover, and I still have some of my fall green manure mix from them. They were out of it right now, except for in the makes you want to cuss sizes. I didn't get any of that. I was looking for the 1 pound. So I'm just going to use what I have. So that'll be my hairy vetch. And then I got field peas, something else. And I got little 5x5 trays because that bad soil is now in pockets all over all of the gardens. Everywhere that bad soil is tucked in, because what I do when I plant into the garden, instead of potting up to larger pots, and instead of bringing in truckloads of garden soil, I kind of do a hybrid where I go up to maybe a 4-inch pot, and then I dig a bigger hole. I put potting soil in that hole in the ground, and then I plant into that. All over the garden, this has happened over the last year. Well, not the whole last year. From September through, I think I figured it out in April. So it's everywhere. I have learned that clover, nasturtiums, peas will not come up in that, or it will come up and just struggle. I'm going to be starting those in 5x5 microgreen trays. Once I get a tray going, then I'll take that and I'll plop that into the ground and let them spread from there. So it'll be cover crop in most of the beds and deep mulch. Those 2 things together will serve to recondition the soil. All of those cover crops are nitrogen fixers, so it will reverse the problem of putting that Kellogg's potting soil into the gardens. If that soil does actually have Grazon or another persistent chemical in it, then there'll be other problems. That's the other thing I'm going to be doing over the winter. I do still have the pots that I tried to set up and grow nitrogen fixers in with the worms to see if I could get it going that way. That did not work. I don't know if that was the heat or the soil or a combination, but it did not work this summer. So I still have all of that. I could just throw it away, but we have figured out that this problem has been going on for a few years. I think somebody said at least 5 years this problem has been building and getting more frequent. We can expect that it's going to become more common, but if this is going to be a problem, a common future problem, then I want to know how to solve it. I want to know what to do if the only way we can get soil is to have this. I want to know if I do get stuck with more of it, what I can do other than throwing it away. And I want to be able to tell you, I had the bad soil, here's how I fixed it. I'm going to be using a method that Jess at Roots and Refuge has talked about using. Definitely check it out if you want to see her solution to that. I did start that this summer, and then I realized that mushrooms were not going to survive extreme heat. So I decided to wait until fall, where I can grow that outside or even in the garage. That's another thing that I'm maybe doing this winter, and again, I'll show you all of that. And otherwise, I'm just going to kind of have a slower winter. I've been working a lot on sourdough. That's something that I used to do, but I was doing yeast breads back then, which is fine. But I'm really enjoying the sourdough more, and knowing that I eventually want to live off-grid-ish with less commercial inputs, being able to grow my own yeast makes more sense than buying in yeast. And also, in case of zombie apocalypse, I don't know where I would get flour in that point, but we'd work it out. But it'd be something less that I would have to bring in any kind of by choice or emergency lack of yeast. I think we can expect the channel to level out at 1 or 2 videos a week in the near future, at least until spring. I do need to give myself rest there too, because I've been putting myself under a lot of pressure. Learning how to YouTube, learning how to edit videos, learning how to do all of it. It's a lot. And to have that on top of a difficult garden year was a lot. But we got through it. I am going to harvest the turmeric soon, which y'all helped me split last year. And mostly I'm just looking to rest my body, rest my brain, and enjoy some successes. I need some successes right now. It's been a year, and I do appreciate y'all's support, and I appreciate you leave the nicest comments, and thank you so much. I have garlic to plant, I have garlic to eat. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, share, all those good things. Please leave a comment if you've had a trying garden year and would like to commiserate. I would appreciate not feeling so alone. Alrighty. Later, y'all. Hey there, it's Mick. I don't know my name.